Hey everyone,
Hey guys.
hope you're doing well. We haven't seen you in a while, and first of all, we wanted to say thank you so much for how you guys have been caring for us and checking in and calling and texting and praying and sending cards. We're so grateful. So, first of all, wanted to just say that, and because we haven't seen you guys in a while, we wanted to just fill you in on how we're doing and a few conversations we've been having with the leadership team and where we're at and a few things for us moving forward. I think for those of you guys who don't know, my mom passed away at the end of April, and that is a huge deal, obviously, for anyone. But I think for me, it was finally I gave myself space to not be okay. And you know, when those of you who have gone through something like that, you know, your world kind of crumbles a bit, time stands still. It's an interesting thing that happens. But to back up a little bit, I think, okay, that was good for me. I could finally say I'm not okay. But backing up a bit, I think Jess has been saying that for a while now. And for us as a family, I think we've been existing in an unhealthy state and kind of just pushing through and overcoming and kind of rallying, and that, you know, manifests in all kinds of different ways with our kids or with one another, or just how we've ordered our lives. And that's been a huge thing we realized in slowing down and taking some space, was like, okay, whoa, that finally allowing things to kind of just be what they were and seeing them for what they are. It was kind of this revelation of, oh my goodness, things are not okay the way that they're going.
Yeah, I think that the stopping point was actually really important. Like Tom's mom dying was just like a breaking point, and as painful and stuff as it has been, it's been really important for us to just realize, like, we've been going this pace and it's unhealthy. And even just over the last weeks, having more intentional time as a family to have these conversations, even talking to our kids and hearing from them, like, where they're at, and as things are coming out, realizing that they were just trying to keep up with us as well, and how much they were feeling the same overwhelm and just that pace. And so I think we just came to this realization of how dangerous it is for us to be running on fumes like this, and how unhealthy it is for our family and our marriage, and even as leaders, like, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. Yeah.
So I think we have been high functioning people who are burnt out, and that's kind of what we're realizing, is that we've been running on fumes. We've been able to kind of meet people's expectations, I think, and I think especially for me, how I'm wired, just I feel like that's the thing I can run off of, is what are you expecting of me, and how can I do that and meet that, and that somehow gives me my sense of identity or whatever. And that's been so unhealthy and unhelpful for our family, but also for you guys in our community, and it's not okay. And I think realizing that we have set a precedent that is built on unhealthy boundaries and codependent things, and all this stuff has been really kind of like an eye-opening experience. But in checking in, and Kevin and the guys checking in with us in the first few weeks, they were incredibly gracious, just giving us time to just be. And like Jess said, that was really important for us to kind of to have time to talk things through with the kids and have conversations, Jess and I, and then in talking with Kevin and the leadership team, filling them in and them giving us kind of as much time as we needed. That was a really huge relief, and even more of like a nudge towards health, it felt like, for our family. And so in that time is when I went to go see a counselor, which was good, and we talked through a lot of stuff, and helped me kind of address some stuff and my struggle with anxiety, which was helpful. And all this stuff is just helpful, and we're just kind of
Beginning the process.
yeah, we're in the very beginning of the process of all this stuff. But I think at that stage, we started to think about going back to, like me going back to work. And I think it was at that point we were like, okay, we're not ready. You know, we're not okay. I don't think we have the capacity to do that right now.
Yeah, just the idea of like going back to what was, and obviously, you know, there's things are so weird right now, even with
Right.
COVID and stuff. But like going back to our roles, just was an overwhelming feeling, and not knowing how to even like start to step foot in that direction. But then also realizing like there's grief, and then there's, you know, all of this stuff that we're starting to sort of address and allow ourselves to process. And so seeing that it's messy and it's difficult and it's good at the same time, but that they almost need to be like this separate thing. Like there's grieving, and then there is a whole lot of other stuff that's been going on under the surface that we have been ignoring, that we need to kind of work through. And it brought us to this point of like, what do we even do with this? You know, like how do we even go back to what was, or what, like how do we begin to process this? And so we were kind of having these conversations back and forth, like what are we gonna do? And then
and talking to the counselor, talking to other guys who have led churches before, just, you know, them checking in, knowing that my mom had passed away, and just conversations they had. They kind of, like what Jess was saying, they said that you have to see it as two separate things, like grieving your mom and working through burnout and these big questions about what you guys are going to do. They have to be seen as two different things. And so at that same time, the leadership team approached us and asked us and started to talk to us about taking a sabbatical, which is just a string of Sabbaths put together, a rest. And that was just incredibly, again, gracious. And it felt like there was something to that, because like Jess was saying before, I think we had come to the point where no matter what, we can't go back to what, at that point we were saying, no matter what, we can't go back to what was, you know, like we can't, for the sake of our marriage and our kids and the church even, like it felt like that it's unsustainable. And so they approached us about taking a sabbatical. And that's where we're at right now, is we're telling you guys that we are taking a sabbatical officially starting after this Sunday. We're going to be off until September. And so what we're going to be doing is working through a lot of the stuff that we were talking to you guys about, that we've just begun working through. I think grieving my mom will be a lifelong process. The girls grieving, and Theo grieving, you know, losing their Maji, Jess losing her mother-in-law. It's like, it's not going to be like, okay, we've arrived, we've grieved, and we're done. But just working through that, and then working through a few other things, like how we're going to, how we're relating to God, you know, with no agenda, how we're relating to one another. All that kind of stuff is what we're going to be doing over the next few months, and hopefully getting down to see my family as the border opens up. I had a brother who got married, and obviously I haven't seen my brother since my mom passed away. And then hopefully have some good rest with our family, and take care of our hearts and souls for a bit, and recharge and refresh. That being said, we love you guys, and we're not like saying sayonara, we're done. We're saying, hey, the speed we were going is not okay. We need to take some time and space. And I think that you guys are in really good hands. I think Kevin and the leadership team, you know, Klaus and Scott and Dan and Josh have been doing an amazing job. And I want to encourage you guys to lean on them. And they're going to be in touch with other friends from Advance, remember PJ Smythe that was on there a couple weeks ago, and those whole guys, Vic. We have a bunch of people who are, you know, surrounding us and want to take care of us. So you guys are in good hands. But yeah, we'd ask you guys to pray for our family, and that we would continue to work through what we feel like God's bringing up in our hearts and in our souls as we kind of process this as a family. But know that we love you and that we're for you guys, and that has never changed and it won't change. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to this time, because I feel like it's just like, I don't even know how to explain it, just like we can breathe again, in a way. Sorry, but I just want to say thank you to to the leadership and to all of you guys. Like, you're such a beautiful community of family, and we just love you guys a lot, and we're really thankful to be part of this community, and loved the way that you love us so well. So just know that we love you, and we're very, very, very thankful. So ugh, I wasn't gonna cry. Yeah. So there you have it.